right. Should be good to go. One moment. Skibidi-doop. Movie news. Movie news. Movie news. Dude. All right, let's get started. On tonight's episode of the Commander Shipp Show, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man's box office, which has just continued to dominate. And as more movies move away from January and February, as the rising COVID numbers hit theaters and other arts districts, Spider-Man's reign may be supreme. We'll see how close it's going to get to the number one spot. Plus, we talk about some more casting and writing news for the upcoming Echo series on Disney+. Some news for the Battlestar fans like myself about Sam Esmail's upcoming Battlestar reboot, or sort of in the same universe. I'll explain more of that in a bit. On top of it, we got some canon news from Boba Fett, so some little Easter eggs that they've decided to pull back in from deleted scenes. And on top of that, normally I'd say that the Golden Globes are pretty trash. And I thought the recent decision was pretty trash as well. But I will, after I got to dive into it, totally understand it makes a lot more sense. So we'll explain more of that, and we'll explain all of that and more coming up now. If you're joining me, I can see you on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Well, I can't actually see you, so you gotta let yourself be known. Throw something into the chat if you want to talk about any of the movie or TV topics that we drop today. Definitely let me know, and I'll try to get to that as I go through. I don't have my partner Tom with me tonight. Hopefully he'll be back on soon. And I know we are making some changes to the Tuesday show, so Commander Shipp might move to a different night. But movies and TV will still happen on Tuesday nights. As far as I know, we're working on that. If you're on the Patreon, we put a title out there for you of what the show could be called. We'd love your feedback on that. So definitely would love your feedback on what new show should be called. There's some contenders out there. I like Film Congress quite a bit. I'll put that out there because it plays off a State of the Nerd Union. Nerd Union kind of keeps in that same kind of I hate to say government feel, but just kind of that regal and union feel. But if you're like, that's not good. And also Film Congress excludes TV. We talk a lot of TV on here, so it's not a perfect name by any means. So definitely open to some new suggestions. Cool. So you are on the Commander Shipp Show for as long as it is good. As long as tonight's show or the subsequent Tuesday nights will be called the Commander Shipp Show. And we got to talk Spider-Man No Way Home. because it has now creeped into the 5 spot, or it's creeping into, sorry, it's in the 6th spot. It's creeping into the 5th spot of highest grossing movies all time. And the things that are left, you get into your Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame, and then you're getting to like Avatar, because it just knocked off Titanic. So it's about to be an elite and very elite company. Gone with the Wind is still up there, even when you adjust for inflation. So, and with Morbius moving its spot from being in January to another a release date in March. I don't know what's gonna. I mean, Batman isn't until March, so Matt, and we're gonna talk some Batman because there's some 2 new stills. Oh, and I love Zoe Kravitz in the trailers I've seen so far. So I'll tease that, but we're gonna talk Batman a little bit later too. But Batman's not until March 4th. So you just had more, and I'm not saying that Morbius would have really taken a dent out of Spider-Man, but it probably would have knocked it. It probably would have been the #1 movie that week when it comes out, most likely. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's going to slow Spider-Man down. So, Endgame had a long run throughout the summer, but there were other movies that siphoned from it. So it wouldn't surprise me, because of the word of mouth in the Spider-Man movie being as good as it is, even though it was spoiler city the night it came out, and it continues to be so. So anyone that's been trying to avoid it has just struggled. But the word of mouth on the movie has been so good. I'd be surprised if it doesn't at least sneak close to Avatar and Endgame. Like if I wake up in March and it's like, oh, Spider-Man No Way From Home was like 10 million shy of that ballpark, would not be shocked. And I guess if there's another, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel makes another push for it, seeing like a ramp up in TV ads and things, knowing that the box office just continue to get cleared out. We are going to talk about another movie they moved as a result of rising COVID issues. So maybe that would be one reason they wouldn't do ads, like increased ads. But the highway is open. There's no cars on the road. Spider-Man can just continue to rack up in a way that Endgame and Infinity War just couldn't do, being summer movies. So very curious to see what happens. The other thing I love about Tuesdays is because the data gets updated, my box office numbers get updated, and it also means Netflix, which is this Netflix top 10 site, is beautiful. If you're a number nerd like me, the Netflix top 10, mwah. So I won't bore you with every single release that's on here. It's actually a pretty simple list this week because oh yeah, we're heading over to Netflix. Like I say, it's a pretty easy list today because Don't Look Up just dominates the top of the list for the US language movies. And some of the ones that stand out to me, Red Notice has now been on this list for 9 weeks straight. So incredibly solid there. Journey 2, so that's like the Journey to the Center of the Earth series. So some like cross-pollination there with The Rock being there on Red Notice. And then I have not had a chance to watch any of the 2 through 5. So I apologize that I can't give you like a solid synopsis on any of those. And Longest Yard, I don't know why that. Don't know. I'm always curious what like sparks, and if there's like a celebrity death or so when we get to the TV ones will make complete sense. When you watch it, when you look at the TV rankings, you'll be like, oh, it makes complete sense. For these, I'm just like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you why The Longest Yard popped back up there. Now it could be that it just dropped and I didn't get a chance to check if it was a new release on Netflix. Obviously not a new release. Along with SEAL Team would be another one like that. But Journey 2, that it makes sense. You're doing that cross-pollination with The Rock. As soon as people finish Red Notice, Netflix is going to be sending you right back into like, hey, if you like The Rock in this movie, go ahead and check out him in Journey. Or if they had the rights to Jumanji, they'd be spooling that in right after as well. So that's the U.S. language movie top 10 for the past week to January 9th. And like I said, TV was going to make a lot of sense, and it does. Cobra Kai season 4 just released, so it just dominates the top 10 there. Witcher had been had been dominating the top 10, but just dropped down with Cobra Kai coming out. And again, Emily in Paris season 2 makes a lot of sense there. Manifest, you might be wondering why Manifest. So one, people just really liked it when it got to Netflix, and Netflix has picked it up, and they're going to do another like a closing season for it. So they're not going to continue it on continuous, but they are going to do another season of it. So I don't know. That might be people that are aware of that, or maybe Netflix is pushing it because again, it's been there in top 10 for 7 weeks. It had been in top 10s, at least from what we can tell from the data we have available, as far back as we can go. It had been doing pretty well for Netflix, so that pickup makes a lot of sense. And then the other ones, Witcher season 1, people getting prepared to watch Witcher season 2 that came out in December, and obviously the Cobra Kai's, and then Queer Eye season 6 had debuted as well last week. So a lot of the TV ones make sense. I understand the TV ones. The movies ones not so much. But hey, I'm very appreciative that we're even getting this data. Hope I can drill. I wish they would give us more stuff to drill down into. But considering we had zero before, I will take this over nothing, and hopefully they'll continue to add more and more information. And honestly, the thing that makes me very curious about this is the 11 through 20 information. It's really the 11 through 20. But I'm kind of curious what's still hanging around, what's getting ready to creep up into this top 10. I can't see that and predict that as well on this. And that's if I could get one feature added. So give me a little more. I'd like to drill down and see a little bit more. But that's me, the numbers nerd. Cool. Moving on to Disney Plus info. Because Alako Cox's Echo series, you saw her playing in the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, will be adding some Daredevil and Punisher writers. So we've got Ken Christensen, who previously wrote on Daredevil, along with Dara Resnick, who previously wrote on The Punisher. Christensen wrote for The Punisher. Oh, I got that backwards. Apologize, folks. Christensen wrote for The Punisher during both seasons that it had, and Resnick was on the staff for Daredevil's third season. Wasn't there the entire time, but was there for Daredevil's third season. Daredevil's third season might be the best one. I love the first two as well, but I think season 1's a lot better than season 2. Season 2 kind of drags there a little bit after the Punisher courtroom episode. And then season 3, I think, was the best balance for Daredevil on Netflix. If she was involved in the first season, I love that and I'm down for it. Okay, so we talked about Clearing the Runway, Turning Red, which is a upcoming series. It's going to be it's not going to be, but it'll still be the first Pixar film helmed solely by a woman, and it was featuring a story about a young girl who turns into a panda whenever she gets stressed, anxious, or gets excited. It was going to debut in theaters. It's going to be moving to Disney Plus for a March release. No word yet if that's going to be a premiere access movie, though. So it could be in a situation where it was like Soul, where you could just watch Soul. You could just watch Soul. You didn't have to pay the upcharge for it. So again, we don't know there. Lindy Fendis says Turning Red Panda. Yeah. Turning, yeah. I see what you did there, Pixar. Trying to be funny. All right. So, in some good news, because really, Armie Hammer does not need to keep getting hired, and there's a longer thing about that. We're going to be talking about someone else later in the show as well. But Will Arnett is taking over Armie Hammer's role in Taika Waititi's latest film. So again, we heard it had no problems. It had nothing to do with the problems that Armie Hammer has been facing as far as like the sexual assault harassments and assault allegations. So we've been told it doesn't have anything to do with that, and that they just needed to do reshoots. So, okay. But Will Arnett will be taking over his role. let's talk about the film though. So Waititi's soccer comedy about an infamous American Samoa soccer team that faced a brutal 2001 loss. They lost 31-0. And in 2014, they hired a new coach to help them reach the World Cup qualifiers. And this is a story about that with Coach Tom Rongan, who will be played by Michael Fassbender. So I'm very curious to see what Taika does with that. Taika Waititi. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, and Will Arnett, it's going to be a comedy movie. So Will Arnett, great comedy chops there. So it'll be really good. Not sure we know who he's replacing. Not sure exactly what Hammer's role was in the film. Maybe possibly an assistant coach to Michael Fassbender's character. So there we go. All right. I am ambivalent about Umbrella Academy. I'll be completely honest. I think season 2 was a lot better. I thought they were going to get a little heavy-handed with racial stuff there in the beginning, to the point where it's like, I don't think y'all are equipped to talk about this well. And in some ways I was right, some ways I was wrong. Season 2 was generally a lot better. Season 1 was I did not like them. I still don't like some of these characters, but generally season 2, a lot better. Now they're throwing a lot into the mix, because we get our first look at the new posters. So this is the Sparrow Academy. If you remember, at the end of season 2, they run into a new academy. If you haven't seen it, this is not necessarily a spoiler. This is not necessarily a spoiler, but they're gonna encounter another academy. So I will just leave it at that if you haven't seen it. But that's not really a spoiler per se. And wouldn't you know it, we get a human Ben, and it looks like the Sparrow Academy's been through some shit. I'll be completely honest. I'm looking through these posters and I'm like, God dang! Like, what happened? It's like, who pissed in your Cheerios? I don't know. And if you'll check out the Twitter account for Umbrella Academy on Netflix, or Netflix's Twitter account, they've got little witty descriptions for each new member, the new 7 that will be joining, along with what looks like a box of flesh. I think that's all. Yeah, I'm just gonna let the silence speak for me in that one. Oh my gosh. Apologies, folks. There we go. So we've got a confirmation, or not a confirmation. We got a rumor that Chawudi. I apologize. Let's take that again. We have it on a supposed leak that a High Evolutionary will be debuting in Guardians 3. If you don't know who the High Evolutionary is, they've got quite the ties to Adam Warlock in the Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Watch saga. Has bowed up on Galactus on occasion, which is crazy. So they're highly evolved human. And they may factor into Rocket's MCU backstory, as he has ties to genetic animal manipulation throughout his run, manipulating genes and so on and so forth. So Chawudi Iwuji most recently teamed with James Gunn on HBO's Peacemaker series, and Chawudi will be coming over to play High Evolutionary if these reports are correct. And I think I'm loving that we got Black Brothers being able to be the heroes and the villains at the same time, because sometimes it's like we always be tabbed as the villains, but I'm particularly excited. You got Jonathan Majors coming in to play Kang. Again, we have Chakudi coming in to play High Evolutionary, so they're going to play some meaty, huge cosmic roles in the MCU. It should not be understated how big these roles are. This is not just like, hey, be Falcon. I'm not knocking on Sam. I've grown to love Sam. Loved Anthony Mackie's portrayal of him as well. But it's nice that we're gonna have some brothers that can just do some intergalactic shit. That is cool. And they might be in prosthesis and makeup and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's something really cool about that. The world needs to know that every race can be heroic and deplorable, Lindy Fitness says. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. All right. Apologies. I did get my photos mixed up, so let me pull back into here. So, is the CW getting a new parent company? As the CW is currently structured, it's a subsidiary built off of three companies: Viacom, Warner Brothers, and Nexstar. And Nexstar most likely would be the ones taking on this purchase. Warner Brothers is looking to get out of their shares of CW. As some of you may know or may not know, Warner Brothers was bought by AT&T. AT&T got hemorrhaging, got some debt load it needs to handle, just so they're getting rid of Warner Brothers. Discovery Channel is buying Warner Brothers. I know it's a shuffling. And due to that, Warner Brothers is probably looking to offload some parts of their portfolio or certain studios, and CW looks to be on the hook for that. But Nexstar already owns quite a. This would be about the controlling stake in the company, and so that might mean Warner Brothers might still have some stake in it, but just not to the degree that they had before. And Nexstar will probably be the one that takes up the majority of that, but we don't know that for sure. This is still very preliminary, and these reports are coming from people that apparently have been approached about a potential sale. So it's not confirmed that's happening yet, and it's not uncommon for there to be these conversations about the sale. Dun, 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 dun. And we don't know what that will mean for Superman and Lois. No idea. Yo, look at my boy. Look at my boy. He looking sharp. Look at my boy Benedict Wong. He looking sharp. So we're getting our first look, and this is still kind of a rendering, an artist mock-up, because obviously this is not him in the suit. You can kind of tell it's obviously his face, but it's not quite. So this is apparently what his uniform, because he's now the Sorcerer Supreme, because when Doctor Strange blipped off, the title reverted to Wong, Wong ascends to that. I don't know. How does that work? Anybody tell me how sorcerer magic works and get back to me. But this is a little show of what his getup will look like, and I rather like it. Recently, he's just been running around in coats or beating up on Abominable, so we really haven't got to see him outside of his classic red tunic that he's had so far, and Doctor Strange or any other, like Endgame or any other place he's popped up. Endgame and Infinity War. So looks nice, multicolored going on there. Like it, it's really good. All right. So, if you were slated to attend the red carpet premiere of Boba Fett, you did not get to do that. It is being pushed to a finale event, although with everything that's going on with COVID concerns right now, which is why the red carpet was canceled in the first place, you may not even be able to attend that. So again, this is still for a very select few that have been invited to it. Although sometimes, hey, I've been invited to premieres before, so it's not that we don't get premieres here on Nerd Union, but sometimes that can be a very small list, and much smaller list right now, given everything that's going on as well. But glad they made a smart decision there, and we only got a couple more episodes of Boba Fett left anyway, so I'd be surprised if that event ends up happening to the degree that it happened, or maybe it'll become a virtual digital red carpet event. All right, next up, woo. So there apparently are some more Zoe Kravitz photos, but she's been dominating the trailers so much that y'all should just go watch those. I love her interaction with Robert Pattinson's Batman so far. So I'm just hoping, like, again, we got, what is it, a little less than 2 months before that comes out. I'm just really hoping it's good. She just seems like she's scene stealing, and I love it. But I also want to give some credit to my boy Colin Farrell, because he is hamming it up as the Penguin. His cackle and laugh he had when he thought he had actually killed Batman in that shot in the trailer, just great. And then in the club when he's like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he seems like he is hamming it up, enjoying it. It's not that he's not taking it seriously. He is. It's just, but I love, someone's like, I'm going to have fun with this. So he's doing a great job. He's having fun with it very clearly. It looks like he's having a blast with it. I love it. And then we get our first actual good look at Paul Dano's the Riddler, because we really hadn't seen good glimpses of him. There's a couple quick shots in the trailer. Some people obviously have slow mode that down, but we hadn't really had good shots until this one. So we really get the look of what this one's going for. A lot of people have emanated that it's going to be like the Zodiac Killer. I wouldn't disagree with that, especially based on what we've seen visually in the trailer so far. And then vocally, what we've heard of him in the trailers has been really cool. So I think this matches that. When people talk about Zodiac Killer, I think it matches that aesthetic that we've thought of. And I think it's playing off of that really well. So cool. Paul Dano's a fantastic actor as well. But again, we've only heard him a little bit in the trailer. We haven't really seen him do stuff. So again, I'm excited. I hope he'll do a great job. But Kravitz and Farrell are the ones we've seen the most in the trailer that had me excited. And obviously, we still need to see what Pattinson does too, because hopefully it doesn't become the problem that, Batman's rogue gallery just takes over the entire movie and then we don't really get anything. We don't really get anything substantive from our Batman. Cool. Next up, my man, Sam Isbell. You know, he's adapting a new Battlestar Galactica series for NBC's Peacock streaming service that will be set in the Ronald Moore reimagined Battlestar. But will not necessarily. It's not like before. From what we understand, it's going to be around the same time frame. So really excited about that. It could just be like another ship in that universe that didn't get destroyed in the destruction of the 12 colonies. So cool. What I'm not super excited about, there's been a rumor of a Battlestar movie for a long time. And what we've heard recently is that it's going to be coming out on Peacock. So there will be the rebooted or I don't even know what to call that. The side story show that Ismail is making, which I think will be great. And then this movie by director Simon Kinberg, who, while he's doing an interview with Collider talking about the 355, which is upcoming all-women espionage movie, but Kinberg as a director is kind of... did you watch X-Men Dark Phoenix? Did you like that movie? Yeah, if you don't have much memory on that, then I don't know if you're going to enjoy a Battlestar film. And I haven't seen the 355. The reviews I've heard read so far have not been flattering towards that. So he potentially has two duds in his roster and getting ready to tackle a beloved franchise. Now, I would be lying if I said Battlestar movies have been fantastic, because they haven't been. They've been some ones that I find interesting and enjoy, but I wouldn't necessarily call them good or recommend them. So I totally understand. Like, it might just be another one in that vein. Lindy Fitness says the concept of 355 makes no sense. Yes, it just... like assassins would be one thing. Like if there was like a common threat to a group of assassins, like you kind of buy that. But you went out of your way to make them intelligence agents or spies of conflicting countries, which means that like it's a stretch. Now, granted, that to be fair to them, that does, like, you think about CIA, Felix Leiter in the James Bond universe and Bond working together, cool. But you also in this movie decided to pick countries that don't necessarily jive together. That's a lot. That's asking a lot. That's where I kind of have to pump the brakes. Yeah, Lenny Venice, yeah. UK and America aren't conflicting in that way. I'm just saying, and I don't remember, I was thinking about that when I was watching the trailer. I apologize that I don't have the names. I don't remember the countries represented in the film off the top of my head. But it just, head scratcher. But I don't really think that's the problem. I think it's probably just a poorly written script, and or Kinberg may not be the director that should have done this. Maybe someone else should have came in, because honestly, after you get past the first 5 minutes, if we just believe the premise, and we'll be fine. So many action movies have terrible premises, So I'm not really trying to hold that. I'm not really trying to hold their feet to the fire about that. It's just more of like Kinberg's probably not the guy. Actually, let me pull a picture for posterity's sake. So he has stated, here's what the actual news was supposed to be. Sorry, I got into a tangent. Kinberg has said that the universe of that movie, Ronald D. Moore's original show, rebooted show, and Sam Esmail's show are all supposed to be connected, which is why I'm kind of like not super excited about his movie. I'm like, oh, it's not even a standalone thing. It's actually going to be connected. It's great. It's great. Awesome. Wow. So, I kind of feel like this next one is some shade. I kind of feel like Chloe Zhao's threw some shade, and I'm kind of digging it. Chloe. So on Zhao's Instagram story, I said the word implore, but I wouldn't even. Someone's basically asking the question about the audience score versus the reviewer score for Marvel's Eternals. Zhao came out to talk about that controversy a little bit, saying, hey, the movie will be out tomorrow. It will be out on the 12th on Disney Plus. So why don't you make up your own mind? Which I think a lot of people have as far as like the audience score. I think, it's okay for audiences to like something that reviewers don't like. What? No, excuse me. What? But to Zhao's defense, there was a lot of nonsense coming out about the film. Like, again, if you don't like it and you want to review it poorly, that's up to you. But like, you didn't have to add that extra stuff. You didn't have to add that extra stuff. So I just thought, basically, there are other terrible MCU movies. So like, this is the one y'all are saying is, and Thor: Dark World is right there. Okay, but yeah, sure. Next up, I promised some Star Wars news, and there's actually a hilarious video done by Robot Chicken about Luke trying to get to Tosche Station to get power converters, and the power converters end up being like a stripper joint. It's like, and now presenting the power converters. Hilarious. Go check it out. If you're like, what is he talking about? Just watch Robot Chicken Star Wars. Watch all of it. You'll see it eventually in there. There's also other stuff to really like. Donald Faison's Stormtrooper going around in there. Palpatine, just all hilarious. But to get to what's actually happened in episode 2 of Boba Fett, there's two people sitting in Tosche Station, or actually, was it? Yeah, let me double check. I apologize. It actually may not have been. No, it was. Yeah, sorry. 1 second, folks. Make sure I tell you right. Yeah, it is actually Tosche Station. Sorry. So Luke had friends he was trying to also meet up with at Tosche Station. Had the names Cammy and Fixer. He was in a deleted scene. Had been shot. There was a set for Tosche Station, but that scene was deleted. And while it was canon for a little bit there with the extended universe, once everything came on with the House of Mouse taking on Star Wars, that got nixed out. But this Boba Fett scene where he's there in Tosche Station, we get a shot of Cammy and Fixer, played by Mandy Kowalski and Skylar Bible, has reaffirmed them as existing, being in that universe. Again, they're a little older than they were previously. Should be around Luke's age now, but yeah. Kind of a nice little it's more because it's more than an Easter egg. It's more than an Easter egg. They're actually there to have lines to say things, but it's a nice little touch to like, hey, here's the thing that doesn't hurt bringing it back in, and even though that deleted scene didn't make it into the movie, here's a nice way to establish some more continuity in a really cool way. So I like that. All right, so we will close the show on. I have not had a chance to watch West Side Story, and There is so there is a let's see, how do I wanna let's see how this set. Let me give myself a second to set up this next one. We are going to end on the Golden Globes, but let's see. Lenny Fitness said a lot of people forgot that they saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. I remember just because of some key moments and scenes, but I don't disagree with you. So Ansel Elgort, I really liked him in Baby Driver. He's played in The Fault of Our Stars and was in the upcoming or the newly released West Side Story by Steven Spielberg. But almost like a common recurring theme on this show or throughout the year has just been reporting on sexual assault allegations that come up on actors all the time. There's a write-up by Newsweek that you can go check out, and I'll drop a link there if you want to read it as far as the actual specifics. But I'm not sure who to be upset with. And obviously when I say that, I mean not the person that was assaulted. What I mean is, how are they still getting hired? Because the Army Hammer stuff, like I'll switch from Ansel to a second to Army Hammer, has at least been known for like the past 2 years and a half. So I understand in the initial aftermath, if you have already had contracts in place and you're trying to figure out what to do as you're learning information, that would be one thing. When you've had plenty of time to know, and that these are outstanding allegations that have not been addressed well, and there's multiple of them in Hammer's case, and Elgert's is just the one, but I think we're learning that there might be more than just this one. Then why are you still hiring him? And why has this not been adequately addressed? So that's what I mean by the phrase, I don't know who to be completely upset with, or maybe I need to just have like 100% upset at the attacker and at the people that are still allowing this to continue and happen, that are facilitating a space of, well, yeah, but if you do it, what are the actual repercussions going to be? And there's been a lot, and to be fair, there have been a lot of people that have been fired and are no longer getting work. We might need to do a show or an episode where we just talk about that, to show that there has been some progress. But these things frustrate me, because this happened in 2020. West Side Story just came out this month, so this is enough time in 2020 to know that you shouldn't hire him, and that he needs to come forward about what's happened. Let's get this resolved before there's any chance of reconciliation or moving forward, if that was something that could happen. But I don't know. It's just, yeah, the burying our head in the sand thing is just getting old. Yeah. And I feel like maybe the shift that needs to happen now is more of a call out for the directors or the producers or the teams that continue to hire problematic actors. Like, I was just going to name drop, and I'm like, I won't do that right now because I'm not prepared to have that conversation. But it's just, it's frustrating. What's it? Yeah, Tarrant. Oh, you said just in time. Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's taking pictures of his junk, sending them around. Come on, man. And I apologize. I said, there was the one primary report, but we are finding out that there's more women that have been subjected to a variety of text messages and exchanges back and forth with Ansel. And I will drop the link for the for the Newsweek. And obviously when we get this posted on our site, we'll provide that as well, because they give a good breakdown of the time frames that this was happening. But I don't know. Get it together. Get it together. I don't. Why send a dick pic? Why? You know, has that worked? Is there some study out there of data that I don't know about that you just really think that this works? Like this is a proper strategy? And I wouldn't, obviously, to be clear, I wouldn't excuse it. I'm just curious, like, what is the rationale? And comedians joke about this, and I laugh at it whenever they bring it up. But I walk away from that joke still wondering, like, but I still don't get it. I still don't know why you do it. I still don't know why you do it. I don't get it. All right, we're gonna move off of that to something that's getting. I think I'm not saying it's being reported terribly on. I just think they're missing, and I have to admit I missed it. I was talking about it yesterday on State of the Nerd Union, and there's a key detail I've forgotten about, which makes this make a lot more sense. So the Golden Globes are still going to give out awards, but it won't be it'll only be with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association that runs the Golden Globes. So it'll be a very small group of people that voted there, anyone that is an actual member of that association, and it won't be televised. So this won't need a host, won't be televised. And my immediate reaction to that was, because they have been messing up so royally, I was like, why would you do that? Why is your idea to then become insular and shut everything out? Now, one was a good COVID reason. It's like, maybe you don't need to hold a large 1,000-person event during for everything going on, especially if they weren't going to enforce any kind of COVID protocol for the folks that were attending, like in the same way that they do for Hollywood sets. So there's that piece. But the big one that I forgot about was that NBC, because of all the uproar and how the Hollywood Foreign Press, the HFPA, had handled themselves, and how their voting practices were, said they weren't going to air a Globe ceremony in 2022. So I want to give some props to NBC for sticking to that and holding firm to their word, because it caused this to happen. And back in early February 2021, LA Times did a great expose on all the problems and the conduct and issues there. I would definitely recommend going back to reread that. It's really solid, gives you a good breakdown of everything that happened. But yeah, my inkling was, this is you not learning your lesson and not improving your practices. Still don't know if that has happened completely, so we do need to get some updates and some more interviews and things to see what has happened since the LA Times expose came out. But this decision makes a lot more sense, given that NBC said they weren't going to show your broadcast anyway, and if they did try to air their own thing, they would be in breach of contract. So this is legitimately the only thing they could do, is like, we can award what our voters decide on, and then that's it. So yeah, I apologize. I misspoke yesterday. I really should have waited and made sure that I had. And again, I forgot that NBC piece. It just was not there, and that was something we had talked about a while back, but just lost in a swirl of information. Cool, folks. That's it. That's all I got today. Taryn came in right there at the end. Good to see you. Taryn is our researcher and host of the Rundown. You'll see them later this week as they recap some. I think we've caught up on a lot of stuff we missed throughout our break, but there's plenty to talk about. There'll be plenty to talk about by the end of the week, because that's how things go. And like I talked about, if you're on Patreon, look for an email about our upcoming name change for this show. So it's not that the idea of the Commander Shipp show was going to go away completely. Just more of, I think, film and TV should be in its own separate show completely, and we want to change up how that's done and the content we provide for you in that as well. So more than just a live show on Tuesday nights, but adding more collected podcast and video pieces to that as an entity. yeah, and then Commander Shipp show might evolve to involve some other things. Maybe talk sports, maybe talk some other plays. I don't know, other things I'm interested in that make sense, that are still nerdy, but not all movies. So, but we need some names for what the new show would be for the movie TV show, and yeah, be very curious for your help on that. So, hey, I've been Commander Shipp. This has been the Commander Shipp Show. You can watch this. At least for the, ideally, we're going to launch that in February. So you can continue watching me on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for movies and TV, for your movie and TV news. You know, Lenny Finn says, sports, you say? Yeah. And not necessarily, not to dominate, not that we necessarily have to dominate that show. But I'm looking at some other formats and how people are handling theirs. And if they are the personality, there's generally like the 80% thing that they cover. And there's a room for doing this other 20% thing, or doing interviews of people. And I really like that. Rich Eisen came to mind, actually, of someone that I was like, I like how he runs his daily show. Now, granted, yeah, if I could do it daily, that'd be great. But that'd take a lot more work. So one thing at a time. Cool. Yeah. So if you have not done it yet, make sure you hit like and subscribe on whichever platform you're watching us on. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, we appreciate you watching and viewing us today. Thank you for viewing Nerd Union. Your people call my people. Yeah, we will. Hey, we're already. My people are already calling your people. They're right. Jeff Rose on the phone right now. I hear him right now. He's calling your people. He's calling old LaSalle. He's calling LaSalle right now. What was his name? What was his name on Recess? Vince LaSalle. That was it. I thought that was a cool name. Cool. That's all I've got, folks. And I will see you. If you want more content, make sure you check out The Quorum, because we were watching the first 3 episodes of Netflix's Daredevil. So season 1 of Netflix's Daredevil. You can watch that ahead of time. Come join us on Discord, and check out the Discord link on Facebook, or search for Nerd Union in Discord servers and you'll find it. Come chat with us there. We don't watch it there, but you can come chat with us there. And Thursday night after that at 9 p.m. Central, we have Red Shirt Rejects. Me and Trevor will be going back through what we've watched of Star Trek Discovery so far. And this season has been pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Until then, until next week, or until this week, until next week, whichever you prefer. We'll see ya. Maybe he can end it.